going on, everyone, and especially fight fans? Welcome back to another edition of Double Jab Podcast with Q, powered by Boxlab Promotions. I'm your host, as always, Rich Quinones, and the rising featherweight, kind enough to join us again, Chavez Barrientes, 9-0, 6 knockouts, getting set to take on Noah Contreras. That'll be Friday, November 1st at the gorgeous Caribe Royale in Orlando, Florida, in association with Boxlab Promotions and on DAZN. And you can check ticket information in our show notes below. And good to touch base with you once again, my friend. How you been?
Everything's been going good. Camp's been going good, so we're just counting down the days.
Yeah, well, I guess when you get to this point, couple days out, a week plus out or so, anything different this training camp, full training camp? Did you work on anything unique or anything different?
Yeah, definitely. We're always working on things. I feel like this camp I'm being a lot smarter. You guys gonna be able to see a little bit of everything.
So I know the last time out, you faced Daniel Leia, and you were able to work the body with him and use
Yeah.
that jab. Now, obviously, you can't teach height. We know that. You're 5'10". Your opponent for this next one, Contreras, is 5'7". So I would imagine the game plan early on is to get on that stick and get the jab working.
Yeah, I feel like it's always a game plan since I'm taller. Really use that jab, and once I land that jab, I can start connecting on other punches.
This will be an 8-round affair.
Yeah, my first 8 rounder.
Is there really a difference from 6 to 8 rounds in your mind? I mean, did you have to put in more cardio, more road work?
Definitely more rounds, but I feel like I was ready. I was well, I've been doing 10 rounds in the ring sparring, so I feel like I'm in great shape, the best shape I've been in. So I'm excited for 8 rounds. I feel like I'm gonna be able to show the people what I'm about more of, and I could really sit there and practice on my landing harder shots.
Do you feel you left anything, as we like to say, sometimes a little meat on the bone the last time out? I mean, obviously you got the win, you got the rounds, but did you go back and look at that fight and say, okay, maybe I could have done something a little different early on in that fight?
Yeah, of course. I feel like every fight I'm like that. I definitely feel like I could have boxed a little more, but I wanted to show that I could be in the inside, and I feel like I did. And this time, when I fight, I just want to show a little bit of everything, a little bit of my boxing skills. I want to show I could switch it up and make the adjustments that I need to.
I noticed with your opponent coming up on Friday, November 1st, again, he stepped up a little bit, but most of his fights, his opponents have had a handful of fights. Obviously, he comes in with a solid record as well with the one loss. But the bottom line is this is a substantial step up for him. He's got a little pop, 4 knockouts, 27 years of age. Do you, and I think I asked you this before, but for the new listening and viewing audience, do you watch film of your opponent or do you leave that up to your team?
Yeah, of course. I do watch film. I don't watch a lot of film because I don't want it to be in my head all day. But I do watch film and then I go back in the boxing gym and we work on what we need to be doing for this fight.
Did you see anything in your opponent coming up that you think, without giving the game plan away, you think you're going to have an opportunity to exploit? I mean, obviously the height's going to be there, so you have to take advantage of that early on. But anything else that stood out?
Honestly, I feel like he's a really solid opponent, and I feel like the more solid opponents I get, I feel like I'm gonna do better against them since they're a little bit of smarter, they have a little bit of more of skill, so I'm gonna be able to match that and counter off what he's doing. I feel like the guys coming up, when they're just coming in throwing haymakers, a little bit more challenging. When some guys have more skill, I feel like I could do a lot better with.
Yeah, it's a good point. And conversely, the flip side of that coin, right, is as I mentioned, he comes in 9-1. He's probably looking at you. Okay, here comes a young upstart, on the rise prospect. If I can get him out of there or get the win, then that takes my career to a different level, right? I mean, that would be probably the signature win of his career as well. So he's coming, right?
Yeah.
He's going to bring his lunch pail to work.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like I mean, if he wins this fight, it's gonna be a step up for him. I'm definitely taking a step up. But I'm real confident in this camp. I know what needs to be done, and I'm gonna go out there and execute it.
Chavez Barrientes, kind enough to join us. This edition of Double Jab Boxing Podcast with Q. Rich Quinones here, powered by Boxlab Promotions. That's November 1st, Friday, the gorgeous Caribe Royale in Orlando, and of course on DAZN. I was looking at your weight class, and you've got some veterans in there, some guys that have, long story, distinguished career. Again, the Brandon Figueroas, the Ray Fords, the Shushu Carringtons, right? Angelo Leo. But then I started to look at some of the young guns. Yourself, Troy Nash, Juan Garcia, Emmanuel Moreno. You're talking 19, 21, 20. You're 22 years of age, right? So we're starting to see, like, right now, especially in the US, these guys are getting some opportunities. They're getting some fights. They're fringe right there with an opportunity for some regional belts. This will be your second fight of 2024. I've asked you this the first time you came on Double Jab. As far as being busy, how imperative and important is it for you to be very active going forward, to have an opportunity to maybe get that 10-round regional belt and then get in the top 10 rankings?
Yeah, right now I feel like I'm at a great place. I'm 22 years old and I don't feel like I need to be in a rush to get there. Um, Definitely, I really want to grow into a full grown man body before I get there. So, I feel like we're on the right path, 2, 3 fights a year, fighting solid opponents. I don't feel like we're rushing anything or going too slow. I feel like, I'm in the right path.
What weight can you foresee yourself fighting at as your career progresses? Like, I mean, again, you're 22, you're going to fill
Yeah.
out.
hmm I honestly feel like I could go up to 35, 40 at the end of my career because since I'm so tall, I'm 5'11". I'm only 122. A couple of the guys at our gym, like Mario Barrios, I mean, he
Yep.
started at 22 and he's 47 now. So I feel like definitely at the end of the career, I could be looking at 40, 47.
Yeah, it's interesting because Mario's got a little pop behind those
Mhm.
shots, right? I mean, so obviously he's got some power in those hands. I think for your height, I mean, 47, 35, 40, right? They're wrecking balls. We know there's killers in there, right? 47, though,
Yeah.
now you're talking welterweight. I mean, you can do a lot of damage at 47. And as you alluded to, it doesn't have to be right away. It could be
Mhm.
24, 25, 26 years of age, and you'll still relatively, I mean, you'll be in your prime.
Mhm. Yeah, of course. Right now I still feel good at 22. I'm not struggling to make the weight, and obviously I'm huge for the weight class, so I want to get as much advantages as I can while I'm still young and I'm able to do it.
Um, let's just say, perfect scenario, you get past your opponent November 1st. Obviously, with the calendar year, we're a month or two already. We're closing out the year. If you got him out of there early, can you foresee another fight in December, or you just give yourself a break and then reset for January?
I mean, of course, if it ends early and I look really good, hopefully I could get on the next main like big card. If not, we got to go back to whatever my manager and my dad says.
Yeah, you got to like the opportunity though, being on these undercards, and obviously, fans get there early. They fill the arena. We know it's going to be on the zone, so you got the platforms and the networks in association with Boxlab Promotions, and they get a chance to kind of see you, right? And as your career, same thing with your brother, as your careers respectively start to elevate and the level of competition goes up. Now all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Hey, co-main feature, co-main event, main event. I mean, that's obviously something that is right there for you, correct?
Yeah, of course. Now that I'm doing 8 rounds, you're gonna be able to see me on the cards closer up to the main event. Hopefully, I could be the next co-main event in the next couple fights.
Yeah, would it if someone's like, all right, you guys are going out there first? You're like, oh, come on, man. Let
Yeah,
them
yeah,
warm it up a little bit.
yeah. We're kind of used to like the being one of the first or the openers. I'd love to be closer up to the main event, and I know we will. And then hopefully this fight I might be but definitely in the future you're gonna be able to see us and closer.
With your training, and you mentioned you got a little more road work in, 2+ rounds now, an 8-rounder. Um, sparring wise, any notable opponents that you had a chance to spar with? Anything you took away? Did you? And I want to ask this again because I want to try to get a more detailed answer out of you. Training camp wise, what was it that you really or your team really focused and honed in on leading up to this fight?
I really we've been working a lot with Ray Salim. He's another
Hmm.
champion at 22. That's been real good work. And I really been working on, using my jab and boxing, being smart, and also able to capitalize on the inside when I'm able to see the shots open. So I feel like you guys are really going to be able to see a big difference into this fight now that I'm doing 8 rounds plus a better opponent. So I feel like I'm really going to capitalize on his mistakes and just put on a show.
No, with that, listen, that's the key, right? A lot of young fighters, whether they've had deep amateur backgrounds, the one thing I've noticed, even when I call fights, is you can tell who's been trained in the art of the jab, right? Because every time you guys are throwing combinations, what do? You come back on that stick and you move around. And I think for your height, long, lanky, little pop, 5'10", your legs are probably also one of your best assets as well, right? Because if you're
Yeah,
just
of
moving
course.
around and pecking and pecking and pecking, you're really never going to put yourself in harm's way.
Yeah, of course. I feel like your feet are just as important as your jab. So you need to be able to use your feet as well as your jab. I feel like I do a real great job using my jab, also my feet to get out of places, even to push them back with my pressure.
What's so again, 2025 now, activity wise, can you see yourself getting three, four fights? I mean, obviously you'll leave that up to your team, but I'm sure you have to have a little input on that. And if so, are there any opponent and or opponents that you kind of watch in your weight class in your division, say, hey man, I like a crack at these guys down the road?
Yeah, of course. You always see the top guys at our weight class. I'd love to fight them. But as we get into the next year, I'd love to stay busy. I know we will since we're fighting better opponents. As long as we look good, we're gonna be putting on the next shows after that, and I'm just excited for our future, man.
Yeah, it's fitting that you said as long as we look good, right? Because I'm seeing you and your brother on IG. I told you guys this. If the boxing thing doesn't work out, I mean, what are we going to see? Black and white catalog modeling. I mean, what's a second career here, right? I mean, you have to protect the assets. It's the face. It's the livelihood.
And I mean, boxing's always been part of our life since our seven. Modeling's always there for us too, but this is what we really love. This is what we love to do. So
Yeah,
it's to us in our mind, it's boxing or nothing. So we
yeah.
put 100% into this.
Well, but again, you gotta listen. You gotta protect the goods, right? You gotta
Yeah,
keep
of
your guard up
course.
all the
Yeah, yeah.
what can we expect Friday, November 1st?
You're gonna be expect a composed Chavez, a real smart Chavez, and I'm excited to show you guys what I've been working on. I can't give too much, but
Of course not.
I want to show you guys what I'm really made of, and I want to prove to you guys that I belong in the division.
Hey, listen, on Double Job, we like to cut down the real estate a little bit, get you backed in the corner and try to get something out of you. But we respect the fact you're not going to give the game plan away. As we did the last time, promote social where everyone can follow you as well.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Chavez Barrientes and Twitter Chavez underscore P4P. You can find me there.
All right. Well, listen, the best of luck. That is Friday, November 1st, Creep Royale in Orlando. Gorgeous venue. And of course, the weather has been gorgeous down there after everything that's transpired with the bad weather. That'll be an 8 round affair. You'll be on the undercard. That is a stacked card, by the way, in association with Boxlab Promotions and, of course, on DAZN. And you have an opportunity to bump that record to 10-0 when you take on Noah Contreras. Chavez, always appreciate a couple moments, and thanks for jumping on Double Job, my friend.
Appreciate you. Thank you.